here on Instagram. So, hey folks, this is Waylon. So I wanted to talk about, I have a lifelong speedy overeating kind of relationship with food. I was a big boy. I was super active. And so I really enjoy food. And when I was young, I kind of learned to show off eating lots, which is a weird thing to do. I would like show off that I could eat 12 donuts all at once. It was just kind of a fun social thing. I would eat a whole pizza myself all the time. So I got into this habit of eating too much and eating quickly. I also was just really hungry all the time and growing and active. Then when I got to be like 25, I was less active. I was working on, a desk, and I was working for Shambhala Mountain Center, which was a wonderful job. But suddenly luckily my girlfriend at the time, Rose, taught me to exercise deliberately, not just for fun, not just basketball or whatever, but to go take care of myself. So I wanted to pass on two kind of fundamental tips. These are super obvious, so I'm not fooled into thinking that all of you have better tips. I'm sure you do, and I would love to hear in the comments what your tips are. But as someone who has been there in terms of overeating and in terms of eating speedily, these two tips really help. And they're two tips that I also still practice like every day. I fail to do them. So number one, and I have some food here. Well, it's probably too hot to demonstrate. I was going to demonstrate with food. But number one, I have a little stir fry down here. So number one, when I'm mindlessly devouring food, mindless being a key word, I will eat and get a new forkful before I'm done eating. So, and then I'll be getting the new one. So my friend Dave and many others have reminded me that it's really simple and really powerful if you just take a bite, you're chewing, but you don't go get a new scoop until you're completely done chewing and swallowing. And what that does, like in meditation, where you appreciate the gap between breaths, is it builds in a little gap. And what happens is super magical. One, you're not speedy. You don't eat everything before you realize what happened. You don't wind up overeating because you're really enjoying the F out of your food. You're really fully enjoying every bite. And I think that's the number one reason I overeat, is I'm eating so quickly, I'm forgetting to take time to taste it. Does anyone else experience that? Anyone here? Sometimes it feels like talking to myself in a room, which is what I'm doing. And my dog will lay there and look at me like, this guy's crazy. Little does he know about my social media connections. So that's a simple one, and it's powerful. And I'm sure all of you are bored by that, but it's the basic stuff can be really powerful. Number two, multitasking. I'm sitting here with my coffee, my food. I just made dinner. It's a stir fry on my coffee table, and I'm about to watch Ellen. God knows why, because John Hamm is on, and I love John Hamm. And I love to eat. I'm a bachelor. I love to eat when there's something going on. So from a slow food point of view, that's a good instinct. Slow food is the reaction to fast food, right? So B. Placey says, I can totally relate. Pretty sure I love you. I'm pretty sure I love you too. It's social media love, so, it is what it is. Perkins, I lost 255 pounds. That's a lot. Love to eat, but probably the world's slowest chewer. Tammy, I wish I were you. I'm so jealous. That's such a healthy habit. To be a slow chewer is something I will have mastered by the time I'm 88. So the second tip is don't guilt. This is going to contradict a lot of tips out there, but don't guilt trip yourself about watching TV and eating, or talking with friends and eating, which is a slow food thing. That food should be a social, convivial occasion. But if you are watching TV or a movie or talking with friends, try to only do that one thing and eat. So you're eating in a convivial, social way, but not multitasking beyond that. So if you're watching a movie and eating, don't guilt trip yourself, but enjoy the hell out of it. But don't also have your phone. Don't also have a conversation. Just do one thing with your food. And if you do nothing with your food, if you're one of those enlightened eaters who chews everything perfectly, sits with impeccable posture alone at his or her table, then I admire you, but I'm not you, and I'm going to watch Ellen and eat my stir fry. So the key here is don't also be on Instagram. Don't also be online. Just bring it in a little bit and celebrate eating. If you're alone, that's all the more important. Really enjoy it. I often sort of visualize, because I'm really immature, which is why I'm not giving advice from the point of view of authority, but my experience of being confused, which I am an expert in. I visualize myself from the outside and say, is this sort of really enjoyable? Am I making use of my time alone or time to relax here? And right now, hell yes. I love talking with you. I love Elephant Journal. I love my Buddhist mindfulness training that I'm always holding onto my own experience so that I can see how I can wake up. And I love John Hamm on Ellen. So there you go. And hopefully I'll love my stir fry. It's super spicy. I'm going to be crying in about 3 minutes. So number one bite. Don't go for the next scoop until you've fully enjoyed your first bite. And number two, if you are going to multitask, don't guilt trip yourself because life is short, but don't multitask. Keep it to one thing. Be in the moment, to quote the famous Valerie Collins No. Happy chewing. La la la. Tammy, everyone is gone and I'm still chewing. Yeah, Cindy, I'm with you. So a lot of people who I'm jealous of, when they're depressed or having a hard time, they don't eat very much. They don't feel like eating. Obviously, it's not good if they're not eating at all, but they don't overeat. When I'm emotional, I totally emotionally eat. I eat. And you know, I gain weight and I'm not active and I don't go outside. So I totally hear you. I have a great blog, I have to say, on Elephant. It's something like 14 or 10 ways, things to do that help alleviate everyday depression. So if you search everyday depression, elephantjournal.com, you'll find those tips that have worked for me, because I did get depressed regularly when I was younger, and I kind of have been able to nurture myself out of it and kind of protect my own habits. Yeah, B. Placey, love that tip. Bonnie from Louisville, Kentucky, or Louisville, Colorado. I spent the first 3 months of my life in Louisville. Eat healthy, but not too late at night. Yeah, I definitely have learned that, not to eat too late at night. That took me a long time. And it can't be a willpower thing. It has to be a, like, I want to give my body time to digest kind of thing. Willpower is sort of the Oprah effect, where for many years she battled herself. We don't want to expend needless energy battling ourselves and kind of hating on ourselves, getting thin, losing it, gaining weight, fighting ourselves. Wine makes me want to overeat. My rule, Melanie, at home is that when I break out the wine, I don't eat after that. So I can eat during it, but not after. So maybe a little rule. But again, these rules have to be kind of not inspired by punishing yourself or willpower. The rules have to be, remember, you want to, discipline is kindness to yourself. Discipline is joy. So discipline can't be being mean to yourself. Being mean to yourself won't work, because yourself will rebel. Okay. Louisville, Kentucky. I was down there a couple years ago. Yeah, I was wearing my cowboy hat because, well, I am in Colorado, and I did grow up riding horses. I owned a pony, formerly abused sweet pony, and rode her all the time. I renamed her Prancing Star. She had been named Eeyore because she had been beaten and abused. But I also biked way out to the farmland today. And so you actually need, it's super practical. You need shade in the front and you need shade in the back, or you're going to get really hit by that sun. So big love, take care of yourself, and good luck with dinner. Just remember to breathe and enjoy your food. If you fully enjoy it, you won't need to do it 3 times to get the taste of one time.